Hey everybody. Hey everybody, it's time for another it's time for the first time since late 2022. It's time for the first review intro. This time as the Douglas Blair Roberts actor base persona, the Super Vader 400, the brown skin human, back at you with another Disney Channel television series and movie intro and television series for various other channels. 2020s version. This is a 2020s remake. The previous one I did ended up being way too long for the first review that I'm going to be doing with this intro, and that is the Disney Channel's newest show, Saturdays, that'll be the second part. And that will be the first video with this intro. The song will be the same, Sonic's Weekend. Even though I will be wearing my skinny jeans, real life superhero rock and roll working class look number 2, my skinny jeans sweatsuit with zipper, gloves, and shades. This will be reviewed as Douglas Blair Roberts, the actor. Because as much as I badly wanted to do make this a real life superhero review, I can't, because other than a couple of comic book and cartoon graphics, there is nothing super. There is in the cool, colorful outfits that they have. There is nothing superhero about this television series. So as such, it cannot be a real life superhero review. So with that being said, let's make my grand entrance and let's get started with Disney Channel's Saturdays, the first review with this intro. Hey everybody, it's time for my review of 4 episodes of Disney Channel's newest coming of age comedy, Saturdays. First, this is my late, out of date, off camera review of episodes 7 and 8. Then my current post-reaction and review of episodes 9 and 10, which just went off almost 30 plus minutes ago. As always, neither one of these episodes have been released yet, and they won't be released on Disney Plus until later in April, so there will be no footage playing in the background. Episode 7 and 8. Brief history of why those reviews took so long and never got around to being completed. last Friday, on the way back from a patrol, I accidentally briefly got locked out of the house for an hour until I did something to kick open the door to finally get inside. When I got inside, the first hour of Saturdays was what you call it, and the second hour, well, I got to catch the encore, but the encore wasn't enough to really take much in, so I decided to wait till Sunday's airing to get more. And Sunday I got a little bit more. Sunday I got a little more, but it still wasn't enough, so I waited till Monday, and Monday got the most, but still wasn't. So I decided to group it together with the premieres of episode 9 and 10, which was today's premieres, April 21st premieres. So yes, episodes 7 and 8. These episodes, in my opinion, were weak, as I predicted in my previous post-reaction and post-review of Saturdays. Episodes 1 through 4 were so good that episodes 5 through 15, it would be difficult to top how awesome episodes 1 through 4 were. Episodes 5 and 6 were good, but just not as good as episodes 4. And these two right here were weak, especially episode 8. Episode 7 was a good Ari themed episode. It was the chocolate club. The whole episode had Paris and having their annual chocolate club by eating nothing but chocolate, and Ari, who's not in who, despite being their best friend and part of the Weeby Girls skate crew, is not in the chocolate club, and she keeps trying to find things to do with them, but Paris and Simone keep bailing on her, leaving Ari to feeling left out, and she goes to see the Duchess for advice. But the girls, they reconcile at the end. In the B plot, Madison develops a crush on a new guy, and London and Derek, for some odd reason, London and Derek get jealous, and they have a brief sexist war with Madison. It's good that we got to see more of Madison in this episode. Everything is going great until the end, where the guy Madison has a crush on him. He only communicates through sticky notes, and the reason for that was, he had a squeaky voice at the end. So yeah, like I said, this was the better of the two. The next one was even worse. Episode 8, the haunted house. I think that's what it's called. I think it was called Nightmare on something street. It was Nightmare on Paris Street, something like that. Well, anyway, this was a haunted house themed episode. With an antisocial neighbor, who no one knows about, and everyone is scared of. But the main protagonist, they meet her, they bond with her. That's the A plot. In the B plot, another sexist war themed episodes. This episode was weak because Saturdays was closed, so I knew they were going to have an episode like this season, but I kind of wanted it to be later this season, but it happened here. An episode where Saturdays is closed, the rink is closed, therefore the girls have to find something else to do that day. And then Paris decides to hold a block party. In the B plot, the parents, London and Derek, they for once share a plot. They get the food ready, and this is the sexist war I mentioned. Kyle believes grilling is for men, and Deb should just stick to being in the kitchen. But Kyle, Derek, and London accidentally burned themselves and apologize for their actions. And Deb starts a new grilling routine, and they apologizing. Deb takes over the grilling for now, proving that she and girls can actually grill. In the B plot, I don't know her name, but she was in the season 3 and series finale of Sydney to the Max, Any Given Sunday's Brunch, where she was sort of the antagonist of that episode too, just like she was the antagonist. Here, her name, I keep getting the actor's name in real life, but she played a character named Mrs. Whittaker. Mrs. Whittaker, antisocial woman who no one knows about and everyone is afraid of. The girls want to give her, Paris wants to give her an invitation, wants to give everybody an invitation, including her. So Paris and them go there. They enter the house. She terrorizes them for a bit, but then they meet her and they bond, and she challenges them to a skating competition. You know, they had to find a way to incorporate the skating in this episode. She challenged them to a skating competition and dusted them the first time, but then they came back and dusted her with a routine. There was one funny joke she made where she easily dusted them in the skate competition. She said, "We be girls, more like we be needing to practice," something like that. Something like that. Like I said, most of this episode, just like the last one, was okay, but it was weak because the Saturday's rank, where most of the plot takes place, most of the plot and most of the excitement takes place, was closed down this episode. Now I'm gonna make my way on camera for the two most recent episodes 9 and 10. Episodes 9 and 10 of Saturdays were episodes 9 and 10 were awesome, especially episode 9. Episode 9 was also the saddest of the episodes. It was so sad that I really wish, because of the significance of the episode and the plot I'm about to talk about, I really wish they would have aired. I wish they would have aired episode 9 as episode 10 and aired episode 10 as episode 9. Because the plot in episode 9 made it difficult to focus on episode 10, which was also pretty good. It's just that 9 was so awesome. This episode right here has been the best episode since the first 4 episodes of Saturday. This episode is centered around the character of Ivan. You get to learn more about Ivan in this episode, and in this episode right here. And this is one of the only. This not only you get to learn more about him. This is one of the many times the Ivan character, who's usually an antagonist in this series, in this episode, he went from antagonist to hero in this episode. The episode starts off with him being the antagonist as usual, with him stealing both of Ari's newly paid $5 hot dogs. Both. He skated and stole the first one. Then Ari joked and said, "Well, at least I have a spare." He skated and stole that one. So I already hated Ivan. This episode, and the girls want to get even. There's a new guy named Jesse. Who doesn't like it when people copy him. He comes in. He appears to be the knight in shining armor and the hero. He stands up for the girls. And takes care of Ivan for them by pranking Ivan by super gluing his chair, causing Ivan to sit down, and Ivan and he can't get up, so he has his assistant Iris, his gossip girl and assistant, pull him out of her chair. She pulls him out of her chair, but half the entire back of his pants get ripped, exposing his childish boxer underwear. And Ivan at first screams at people, don't laugh, and he leaves the place in humiliation and shame. The girls The girls and everyone celebrates, and Jesse takes over the rink. However, with Jesse taking over the rink, he becomes more tyrannical and worse than Ivan ever was. As the VIP guy, first he charges money for everything. The hot dogs, which are $5, become $10. You gotta pay money. You gotta pay money to take selfies. You can only take selfies if you're if the Jesse guy is in them. So he keeps charging them for everything, and then the girls try to get him to stop doing that, but Jesse reminds him that his parents own a lot of stuff and that Saturdays is his new crashing place. So the girls tell him he has to leave. Jesse calmly replies, "You're right," and then turns on him by saying, "I understand, but ladies first." And then he has his bodyguard women throw out Ari, Simone, and Paris out, and Iris is also thrown out. So this is one of the many episodes where the Weeby Skate Girls and Iris actually team up, and they realize they got to get Ivan back. And then we're introduced to Ivan again. He's at some Asian martial arts place practicing what looks to be Tai Chi, what looks to be a form of Tai Chi, and trying to find his inner spirit, and stuff. They try to get Ivan to come back. Ivan refuses, saying he has a new calling now, and that Paris tries to get him to come back by not only telling him how tyrannical Jesse was to us. Ivan curses him at himself for not being as ruthless as Jesse, for not coming up with the ideas to charge everything. But then Paris reminds him that even though the Weeby Girls Skate Crew and Ivan and Iris don't get along, they're still all family. Ivan calls them out on it and said if they were family, they wouldn't have laughed at him during his humiliation. It says he's never coming back to Saturdays. And then the lady leading the seminar scares the Weeby Girls Skate Crew off, as she doesn't like people interrupting her practice. The girls go back to the skate ring and think of a new plan, but they can't think of anything. And Simone, who likes Ivan, the only one who likes Ivan, who has a crush on Ivan, wishes Ivan was there, and she gets her wish. Ivan appears behind them and says he was always coming back. But Ari reminds him he's only back because the lady at the Asian lady pretty much forced him to come back because Ivan was late on his payments for the class, and the lady didn't like that, forcing Ivan to come back to the rink. And they come up with a plan to challenge Jesse to a skate off, but during the skate off, distract him by constantly, like I said, Jesse doesn't like when people copy him, by copying him. This causes Jesse's game to get thrown off, and they beat him at the skate park, and together they toss Jesse out of the rink. And the girls and Ivan now proclaims the Weeby Skate Crew, Weeby his best friend's crew. Now Weeby his best friend. Everything seems to be good. And here comes the saddest part. Part of the episode. The whole purpose of this episode was to appear. It appears that's what it appears to be right now. I'm trying to see if we'll have any more appearances, but as I just hinted at, this was the finale of the Ivan character in Saturdays, and I feel he's only been around for 4 episodes, and it was way too soon to write him out of the story. But his family is, according to the episode, his family is moving to Canada, so this is the end of the Ivan character. But he promises to come back for Simone when high school ends. But I felt that it was way too soon to write about the series, and the whole Weeby Girls Skate Crew versus Ivan and his crew every episode was exciting. Was exciting. So I'm happy Ivan got to go from antagonist to hero and got to be redeemed this episode, but they did it so they could write the character off, and without a real actual antagonist, it doesn't show. I don't see the show being entertaining, and this plot point kind of made it difficult to focus on the next episode. But before I get to the next episode, the B plot, I forgot to mention feature Madison with a new crush, who this guy is a friend, of London, Everything appears to be great until London and Derek spot their same friend with another girl who they at first they think is the guy's cousin, until he gives her a special kiss. They notice he's cheating. Now they don't want to hurt Madison by revealing the truth. So they come to their parents for help. The dad wants them to be quiet and keep it to themselves. The mother wants them to tell Madison what's going on. The boys on the other hand, oh yeah, Derek of course, gets distracted. Derek and the family gets distracted by an actual real life soap opera similar to the problem London has. So London is forced to go alone, and he confronts the friend about his cheating on Madison. The friend reveals that Madison doesn't know about the other girl, and that he's not gonna tell her. When Madison comes, he briefly mentions it, but of course Madison, so in love, takes the friend's side. But Madison reconciles with London in the end and apologizes and thanks him for telling the truth about his friend. And it turns out Madison figured it out the hard way, and in retaliation, several of the girls he was cheating on, his brothers, found out, and I guess they jumped and beat him up off screen. And Madison reconciles with London, and they hint at some romantic interest between London and Madison. Derek comes up comically thinking it's a staring contest. It's a great episode. Both plots were awesome. It was so awesome. I wish it would air this as the 10th episode instead of the 9th, because the 10th episode was also good, but it was hard to focus on because of how awesome 9 was. 9 was the best episode since episodes 1 through 4. Then you got episode 10. In this episode, Simone gets the attention of a popular skater influencer, and she wants Simone to wear and pretty much model her skates in various fashion. Simone does this, but by doing this, she keeps alienating her friends and backing off, including this Golden Girls competition. I think that's what it's called, the Golden Girls competition. That's gonna come up. Simone eventually blows her friends off and says they'll do the skating competition next year. But then, of course, you know the story. The influencer wants Simone to give up her old life and give up her old friends, hang out with some new friends, and immediately go touring with her or something like that. And Simone, she wants all this, but she doesn't want to give her old life. So you know the story. She gives all that up and comes back and skates with the girls and does the competition. Before that, they comically had D-Rock. They currently had Derek and D-Rock briefly replace Simone as the third member of Weeby Girls skate crew. Not even changing the names, but Derek still can't skate, as you saw in episode 3. He's better, but he still can't skate. He sure as hell can't dance and skate at the same time. He comically falls. The girls agree to let him off easy over the weekend, but when they all come in for their friendship makeup hug. In the B plot, Kyle and Deb are fighting. Kyle and Deb are fighting because they have to bake a bunch of cakes. Meanwhile, while they're fighting, London, and he convinces D-Rock to go along too. London London tricks his parents since they're distracted with the fight. Tricks his parents into paying for an expensive lobster dinner, and a bunch of other stuff, which the dad doesn't figure out until he comes in the until the dad and mom spill the cake, and both agree to go to another room as they both of them agree they're not going to clean it up. The dad comes down and walks in on the boys eating lobster in the basement with all of this newly bought expensive stuff. The dad goes into a huge rant, but then the dad realizes why he likes his mom while bonding over a baseball that he got a concussion for, that his mom helped take care of from that his wife Deb helped take care of from the concussion. And then he comically reveals I'm expecting him to ground both of the boys. He comically reveals to London and Derek. He said, I don't think I didn't notice this lobster dinner and all this expensive stuff. Both of you will pay me back. And Derek says, oh, I'm just a guest. And then London hilariously said, oh, I guess you're done eating then. And that's how that plot is resolved. And the parents, of course, they resolve and make up at the very end. And London makes it up to him by tricking both of them to meeting up and bonding at the Saturday skate rink. So great episode. Great episode, but great episodes, way better than last week's. And happy I got to see them on time. But I had a problem with episode 9, writing Ivan out of the story that fast when him being an antagonist was kind of exciting. So next week's episodes, I don't remember what they were about. I read what the synopsis is to both of them, and neither sounds good. Oh yes, the first one's about Paris's graduation party. Paris's graduation party, but the mom keeps getting eighth grade graduation party, but the mom keeps getting in the way as she doesn't want her daughter Paris to grow up, something like that. And then the next episode, the girls try to help out a young girl with a future crush, that causes the young girl to look a hot mess with their various wardrobe advice and stuff. And neither of these sound good, but I love Saturdays. And like I said, Friday nights for the next 3 weeks. For the next 3 weeks is nothing but Saturdays episodes. This is the Friday tradition that started in 2020 with new episodes of various Disney Channel shows that continues with Saturdays. So with that being said, you want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
Something special.